Good afternoon, everyone. Imagine a classroom where every student feels valued and respected and fully included, a place where differences are not just tolerated, but celebrated. As a paraeducator who has witnessed the transformative power of inclusive education firsthand, I can attest to its profound impact on students' lives. I've seen how inclusive classrooms foster growth, empathy, and a sense of belonging. Today, I'm excited to share the concept of inclusive education and why it matters more than ever. Let's explore 3 important aspects of inclusive education: understanding what inclusive education truly means, taking a closer look at the challenges and benefits it brings, and finally discovering effective strategies for successful inclusion. Inclusive education is a teaching approach that includes all students regardless of abilities or disabilities in regular classrooms. It promotes diversity, equity, and a sense of belonging. What does inclusive education mean, and how does it affect our classrooms? Inclusive education means including all students regardless of ability or disability in regular classrooms. It's about creating a supportive learning environment where everyone belongs. There's a lot of history leading up to inclusive education. According to Steinbeck and Smith, back in the late 1700s, physician Benjamin Rush first introduced the concept of educating people with disabilities. In 1817, Thomas Gallaudet established the first educational program for individuals with disabilities at the Asylum for the Education of the Deaf and Dumb right here in Connecticut. In another article about the history of inclusion, author Barbara Barrowson states in 1975, the Federal Education for All Handicapped Children Act required public schools to guarantee a free, appropriate public education to students with disabilities. It wasn't until finally in the 1990s, with the revision of the EHA, came the Individuals with Disabilities Education Improvement Act, or IDEA as we know it now, which provides not only free and appropriate education, but in the least restrictive setting. Now that we've explored what inclusive education truly means and some of its history, let's shift our focus to the benefit and challenges it brings. Some of the challenges that inclusive education brings is providing personalized support and ensuring staff have the proper training and resources. In a literature review, Others Grant and others state teachers often find themselves unable to meet the standard requirements for the inclusion of students who require special considerations in regular classroom environments. But even with those challenges, research shows that inclusive classrooms offer improved learning for all students and enhancement of social skills. According to Baker, Wing, and Wahlberg, students with special needs educated in regular classrooms perform better both academically and socially than those in non-inclusive settings. Now that we've explored the benefits and the challenges it brings, let's talk about those effective strategies for successful inclusion to overcome some of the challenges that come with promoting inclusion. The first strategy is to provide differentiated instruction and assessment, which means to tailor instruction and testing to meet the diverse needs of all of our students. The second strategy is to provide collaborative and team teaching models. This involves 2 teachers or more working together to provide instruction to a group of students. This is sometimes known as a co-taught instruction. The third strategy that can help promote inclusion in the classroom is providing peer support, which involves pairing students with different abilities to work together on a task. Sometimes our students work best when they work with each other because they understand each other better than we can understand them. Lastly, there's a strategy of providing assistive technology, which can help students with disabilities to access and participate in the learning environments. These can be tablets, computers, even just sticks that they can touch the screen with and interact with the classroom. As we wrap up our exploration of inclusive education, let's reflect on the power it holds, the power to transform classrooms, nurture empathy, and create a more compassionate world. Reimagine that classroom where everyone thrives, differences are celebrated, and belonging is essential. We've explored what inclusive education is and some of the reasons why it can be important in our schools. We weighed the benefits with the challenges. Finally, we also know some practical strategies to create inclusive classrooms for all. Let's strive to see that ideal classroom, not just in our minds, but in reality, ensuring all of our students feel valued and respected.